Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Before I answer the question by the Honourable Rokomatu, I just thought I'd just respond to Honourable Dinesh Sharma's comments about the FRU. And I thought I'd just make something very, very clear, particularly to the public of Fiji. The trustees of the rugby union at the moment have been vilified, sir, unjustifiably. These men and women, we should call them heroes, sir, because they came in when the FRU was on its knee. We had uncovered that the whole FRU structure was illegal, actually, Honourable Speaker. You talked about disconnected. There was one big disconnection happening there. Yeah. And so the trustees were asked to come in and fix the problem and try and it was made very clear to FRU at the time that if they didn't fix it, we were going to be out of the World Cup. And Honourable Speaker, sir, the trustees did that. They not only ensured we stayed and they played very well in the World Cup, and also, they're on a pathway now to return power back to the board of the FRU on the 28th of November, sir. And so I just thought I'd share that to the public of Fiji that, criticisms are fair, but we need to be, sometimes research a bit before we make criticisms. Because sometimes maybe we are being a bit unfair, particularly in this case on the trustees that have not been paid a single cent to actually carry out the work they've carried out, Honourable Speaker, sir. In response to the question,
Mr. Speaker, sir, point of order 80, self-explanation. Personal explanation.
It's a personal explanation. No.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
This is not about something that you're trying to. This is something that is in conjunction with what you've stated, Honourable Sharma.
Sir, the minister has accused me of what you said in Parliament. So it's directly to me and indirectly to you. It's just posted on their page. Yes. Minister for Youth and Sports.
Honourable Sharma,
yes.
I'm not reacting to it because I've stated what I wanted to state based on something that I heard being mentioned by the Honourable Minister for Sports, and that's where it ends. I'm not going to take it any further. That's all. Thank you.
Honourable Speaker, now I'll address the Honourable Rokomatu's question. I think the simple answer to the question, Honourable Speaker, is yes, the People's Coalition Government is very committed to ensuring that we reach the unconnected, sir. And included in that is all provinces in Fiji. Having said that, sir, I'd like to tell a story just to explain why it's taken a bit of a time to actually get to where we're getting to now. When I got into communications ministry, sir, you could say that there was a fair bit of dysfunction in that ministry. One, they did not have a properly constituted telecommunications authority. It was the board was actually just some civil servants that the minister at the time had gathered together. And it was not, in what I view, any regulatory body has to have the best of Fiji on this board. That's correct. And so one of the jobs was to actually reconstitute the Telecommunication Authority Board, which we have done, sir. It's chaired by a gentleman by the name of David Ayer. He is a well-known telecommunications expert in Fiji and also an engineer. And there's the names such as Tomasi Vakatora Jr. on the board. He's a well-known senior executive in Fiji, was at one time the CEO of ATH. So these are the types of people we have brought on the board, just like the Civil Aviation Board that I mentioned yesterday. The second most important thing was there was no CEO in the Telecommunications Authority of Fiji. I'm not sure for how long. And so once the board settled in, their next job was to actually go and find a CEO he has now been appointed. And one of his main jobs is to roll out the connecting the unconnected to the rest of Fiji. So when the third thing that I found out was when I got the declaration on universal areas, and we have to gazette the locations that we decide that we're going to roll out connectivity to. The latest gazette from the government at the time was the 6th of July 2022, so it's fairly recent. There was no mention of the province of Ra here. Zero. Honorable Rogomat, you're not even officially on the list of the gazette, the sites that are to be looked at. Having said that, sir, we have been, I asked the Telecommunication Authority to relook at the sites. At this stage, prioritizing the maritime areas and then looking at other areas that have been covered. At the moment, there's about another 80 sites that have been identified, so that which includes Ra. So that will come on board, and then we'll try and prioritize the actual rollout of the sites. The first deployment, which is like if you like, sort of a test deployment, will happen around towards the end of this year. And that's to roll out some of the maritime locations here. Once that happens, and that includes Lau, Kandavu, and Lumaiviti, then we will start rolling out. There is a fund called the Universal Service Fund that actually sits in the Ministry of Communications. We are using that fund, but it's not enough, sir. So I will be reaching out to donor partners as well to try and accelerate the connecting the unconnected. One of the positive things, however, sir, that we all know about is whilst we're trying to get this going, Starlink has arrived in town.
Yes.
And some of our people that can afford the connectivity, and some are doing it through their relatives overseas, I think. Apparently there's 2 in there, right? So that's already started. So that's creating some positive assistance in terms of to those who want connectivity more urgently. So, in a nutshell, yes, we will look at Nasau District as part of the overall plan. Right now, we just have to make sure we plan out the initial phase, like on a model launch, if you like, sir. Once that's done, and then we'll then have a firmer plan, and hopefully by then we have some donor partners so that we can then accelerate the process. So, but again, so as you know, it needs a bit of planning, well-articulated plan before we actually go and see the donor partners as well. That is in essence where we're at in terms of the planned rollout. But be assured, sir, we are very serious and we are doing our best to get this moving. Thank you, sir.